Welcome to this deep dive on GenSpark AI. In the next 10 minutes, I am going to walk you through what GenSpark is, how it works under the hood, what you can realistically do with it, how pricing and limits shake out, and when it might make sense to pick it over other AI tools. Let us start with the basic idea behind GenSpark. GenSpark is an AI search and content generation platform built around the idea of specialized agents. Instead of giving you just a chat box that answers in a single stream of text, it tries to break your request into pieces and assign those pieces to different AI agents that each handle a specific kind of work. The result you see in the end is called a Spark page. You can think of a Spark page as a live AI-generated report or document that pulls together information, sources, and follow-up actions in one place. The goal is to feel less like a single chat reply and more like a polished research brief or working document. If you ask GenSpark a research question, for example something like explain how small businesses can use AI for marketing in 2025, it does not just reply with one long paragraph. Instead, it might create a Spark page that has an outline, sections, bullet points, citations, and sometimes even supporting tables or lists. Inside that Spark page is an AI copilot that you can continue to talk to. You can ask it to expand a section, rewrite a paragraph in a different tone, or add a comparison table. The Spark page updates in place as you go. The core idea is that you are not just chatting. You are building a living document with AI assistance. Under the hood, GenSpark uses what it calls a multi-agent engine. When you type a prompt, the system analyzes it and routes parts of the task to different specialized agents. One agent may be good at long-form research. Another may specialize in data tables. Another may be tuned to create slide outlines. Another may focus on fact-checking or pulling references. The agents then send their partial results back to a coordinator that merges everything into the Spark page you see. On top of the text-based agents, GenSpark also supports image and video generation using modern models. In descriptions from tool reviewers, GenSpark mentions support for image models like Flux and Ideogram, and video models like Kling. So if you are on a paid plan, you can ask it to both research a topic and also generate illustrations or simple clips that go along with the content. GenSpark wraps this in a feature set that feels like a blend between a research search engine, a writing tool, and a lightweight presentation and spreadsheet builder. There are dedicated agents and templates such as AI Docs, AI Sheets, and AI Slides. AI Docs generates long-form documents, reports, blog drafts, or essays. AI Sheets creates structured tables and simple spreadsheets, which can be useful for lists of companies, pros and cons matrices, or simple financial breakdowns. AI Slides helps you turn an idea or outline into a first-pass slide deck structure. You still need to polish the formatting in your presentation software, but it can save a lot of time on the initial structure and talking points. There is also a feature often called deep research. This mode is meant for more serious research tasks. Instead of just summarizing the top result, deep research typically pulls from many sources, tries to cluster information into themes, and then builds a Spark page that feels closer to a mini report. You usually get sections like background, current landscape, key players, pros and cons, and sometimes a quick FAQ. This type of output tends to be more useful for analysts, students, writers, and founders who are exploring a new topic and want a starting report rather than a casual answer. GenSpark also includes an AI drive or storage layer. This is essentially cloud storage for your Spark pages and generated assets. You can organize folders, search across your documents, and come back to old work. On higher paid tiers you get more storage space, which matters if you store a lot of images, videos, or large research pages. Some descriptions mention agents that can interact with the outside world for limited tasks, such as a Call For Me style agent that can place simple phone calls for confirmations or reservations. That kind of feature is positioned more as an experiment than a core workflow for most users, and its availability can depend on your plan and region. Now let us look at pricing and limits as of late 2025, based on public write-ups. GenSpark has a free tier and at least 2 paid tiers, often described as Plus and Pro or similar names. The free plan costs $0 per month. It gives you a small daily or monthly credit allowance and limited storage. A typical description is 100 credits per day or per month and 1 GB of storage, with restricted access to the more advanced agents and to image or video models. The free tier is mainly for testing the workflow, trying deep research a few times, and seeing how Spark pages feel in your own use cases. It is not meant for running your business on it. The Plus plan is around $25 per month when billed monthly. This tier is aimed at solo professionals, creators, and heavy students who need regular access without the scale of an agency. Typical numbers reported are 10,000 credits per month, 50 GB of storage, and priority access to the full catalog of research agents, plus image and video generation. This is where GenSpark starts to feel like a daily driver. You can run deep research, build docs and slides, generate images, and keep a growing library of Spark pages. The Pro plan climbs to around $250 per month. It is aimed at agencies, research teams, and very heavy users. You get on the order of 125,000 credits per month, roughly 1 terabyte of storage, and full access to all agents with higher priority. For a single person, this is often overkill. For a small company that runs many research and content jobs per week, it can make sense. It is important to note that GenSpark uses a credit system. Each action consumes credits. Deep research and complex Spark pages can consume more credits than simple chat-style tasks. Some user reviews mention that credit usage can feel opaque at first, so if you are on a paid plan, it usually makes sense to track how many credits a typical task costs you. That way you can estimate whether Plus or Pro gives you enough headroom. Now let us talk about strengths. The first strength is structure. Many people find that plain chat outputs are hard to reuse. You get a wall of text that you then have to manually turn into a report, a document, or a slide deck. GenSpark leans into structure from the beginning. Spark pages come with headings, sections, bullet points, and sometimes accompanying tables. That makes it easier to copy, adapt, or export into formats you actually use. The second strength is multi-agent specialization. Because GenSpark sends parts of your request to different agents, it can combine research, outlining, drafting, and formatting into a single run. For example, if you ask GenSpark to research the top 10 AI tools for sales teams, compare them, and then draft a 2-page internal recommendation memo, it can create a Spark page that includes a feature comparison table, short tool profiles, and an executive summary in memo style, all coordinated in one place. The third strength is breadth. With image and video generation baked in on paid tiers, GenSpark lets you stay in one workspace for a project. You can plan an article, draft the copy, generate hero images or diagrams, and even mock up simple video assets for social clips or slides, all without switching tools. The fourth strength is that built-in copilot on each Spark page. Once you have a page, you are not done. You can talk to the copilot about just that page. You can say expand the pros and cons section, adjust the tone to be more skeptical, add a table that compares pricing, or rewrite this paragraph to be friendly to non-technical readers. The Copilot understands the context of that Spark page. That is different from copy-pasting the page into a generic chat. Of course, there are trade-offs. User reviews and independent write-ups mention a few common concerns. Some people report issues with exports not always working cleanly. For example, downloading a document from a Spark page to a word processor format can sometimes be flaky and require manual cleanup. Others mention frustration with billing clarity or with how credits are consumed across different agents. Support is another theme. A portion of users on public forums talk about slow responses when asking for help, especially around refunds or unexpected credit drains. Experiences here vary, but it is something to keep in mind if you expect white glove support. Another limitation is integrations. GenSpark is strong inside its own workspace but does not yet have the same deep integration story as some automation-focused tools. If your priority is connecting AI directly to your email, CRM, phone system, or ticketing stack, you might find better fits in platforms that are built specifically for workflow automation. So when does GenSpark make sense? It is a good fit if you are a student or researcher who wants to turn prompts into structured research pages with citations. If you are a blogger or content marketer who wants to go from topic idea to outline to draft with less fuss. If you are a founder, solo operator, or small team that wants quick slide outlines, internal memos, or comparative tables. And if you like the idea of having one workspace where research, drafting, and simple visuals all live together. On the other hand, you may want to skip or supplement GenSpark if your main need is live business automation, if you require strict compliance guarantees for regulated industries, or if you prefer a flat price model without credits. Let us finish with a short example of what a real workflow in GenSpark can look like. Imagine you are preparing a pitch to investors for a small AI startup. Step 1. You open GenSpark and use deep research to analyze the current market for AI agent platforms in 2025. You ask for a summary of competitors, key pricing models, and current trends. GenSpark creates a Spark page that covers the major players, typical subscription ranges, and customer pain points. Step 2. You ask the Copilot on that Spark page to extract a comparison table. It builds a sheet-style table that lists competitor names, target customer type, pricing, and core strengths. You tweak a few entries to match your own knowledge. Step 3. You switch to AI slides and ask it to turn the key points from the Research Spark page into a slide outline for a 10-minute investor pitch. It creates an outline with title slides, problem slides, solution slides, market slides, and a simple roadmap. You edit the wording until you like it. Step 4. Using the image agent, you request 2 or 3 conceptual images that match your brand. For instance, a simple line art illustration of multiple AI agents working together around a shared knowledge hub, or a visual metaphor of messy information flowing into a clean structured report. Step 5. You export the outline to your slide software, drop in the images, and spend your energy on polishing delivery rather than starting from a blank page. That is the kind of stack GenSpark is aiming for. It is less about a single chat reply and more about giving you a project workspace that moves from question to research to draft to presentable asset. To sum up in one sentence, GenSpark AI is a multi-agent search and creation environment that turns your prompts into structured Spark pages, documents, sheets, and slides, with integrated media generation and a credit-based pricing model that scales from casual use to team-level workloads.